Dietitians are food experts and tell everyone to eat real food. What exactly does that mean? When you eat real, you consume the whole food in as close to its natural state as possible. Let's look at some foods that contain the name apple, but which food do you think is the most real? Apple, applesauce, apple cider, or apple snack? You're so smart, you guessed it. It's an apple. It's pretty natural. Processed foods are just like they sound, boxed and packaged with ingredients that you can't even pronounce, and full of calories and really not a lot of nutrition. We want to stay away from processed and boxed foods and choose nutrient-dense foods, whole foods, that while loaded with nutrition, aren't loaded down with calories. When looking for real foods, what are you looking for? Remember, you're a food detective. Look for foods that are unrefined, unprocessed, and unbleached. Foods that are fresh and grown locally if possible. Always choose foods with lots of fiber because fiber is a winner, especially with weight loss. Look for organic if possible, and choose foods that are additive-free, with no pesticides, antibiotics, artificial colors or sweeteners, and prepared without preservatives. How do you know? You've got to read those labels. Eat fresh, natural, whole foods. Well, you might be saying, that sounds nice, but sometimes the flavor can be a little bit bland. How do I make natural foods more flavorful so I'm going to want to eat more of them? One important tip, add herbs and spices. Herbs and spices provide amazing flavor and extra nutrition without adding extra fat and calories. Just last weekend I made pumpkin cake. I didn't add a lot of extra sugar or fat, but added what really brings out the flavor of pumpkin. Cinnamon, nutmeg, allspice, and ginger. Tomatoes taste great, but who doesn't love fresh salsa? Why? Because of the cilantro, garlic, and onion. And think about what spaghetti sauce would taste like without added basil, oregano, and garlic. Kind of blah. And guess what? Spices contain phytonutrients. They are plants, remember. Spices open up a whole new world filled with taste and flavor. But you have to understand how to use spices. It's the essential oils and spices that give them their zip. Ground spices are going to release flavor faster than whole spices. So use ground spices for quick cooking methods and add whole spices when cooking takes longer in order to release that flavor. Spices that are seeds, such as fennel and cumin, can be toasted to intensify their flavors. And when using herbs, remember that a dried herb's oils are concentrated in the drying process. So use half the amount of dried herbs when substituting for fresh in a recipe. The best way to use dried herbs is to crush them with a mortar and pestle. Otherwise, just crumble them with your fingers to release that flavor. Spices can be combined for a variety of flavorful dishes, and I always have on hand Herbes de Provence. It's an aromatic blend of rosemary, marjoram, thyme, and savory. People are going to think you went to chef school. If you're looking for more inspiration with your cooking, look no further than your spice cabinet. Now, the Weight Management Journal has a lot of recipes that use spices, and one of my favorites is the apple cheddar salad. Sounds good, huh? What makes this recipe so good? Is it the apple or is it the cheese? You know what it is really? It's that cinnamon and lemon combined that jazz up that extra flavor and don't add a lot of extra calories. Now, I recommend when you do have the time, double or even triple your recipes when you're preparing them. You want to just portion out your serving size and place it in a container and label it. Remember, portion size is critical to your plan. Most foods will freeze well in plastic, but I do want to let you know you never want to ever microwave anything in plastic. Have you seen the frozen entree aisle in the grocery store lately? It takes up 2 sides of the aisle, now even more at these larger stores. Why? Because we're living in a fast-paced world and convenience rules. When you start batch freezing your own foods, it allows you to have your own line of frozen entrees that are healthy. They're not loaded with those preservatives and that extra sodium and can help you with your weight loss goals. You just have to be prepared, and being prepared is really well worth the effort. Set yourself a goal, double or triple a recipe, and batch freeze it and label it well. Feel good when your time is short and the meal you need is already prepared. Keep putting the action into the plan. I'm Julianne Downs, and I encourage you to respond positively to how you eat, how you move, and how you live.